The rain poured down hard on the busy street corner. Cars splashed water everywhere as they drove past. Under a torn piece of cardboard, a woman sat on the cold ground. She held a baby wrapped in dirty cloth. Two small children pressed close to her sides, trying to stay dry. The woman's name was Hale Lima. Her face was thin and tired. Her clothes were ripped and covered in mud. The baby in her arms made soft crying sounds. Her daughter Zara, who was 5 years old, held a small cup. Her son Galani, who was 7, held another cup. They both stretched out their cups to people walking by. Most people walked past without looking. Some threw coins into the cups. Others just shook their heads and hurried away. Helma's belly was big and round. She was going to have another baby soon. She touched her stomach and closed her eyes. Life had become so hard. But what she didn't know was that her life was about to change in the most unexpected way. Because the man who was about to find her was someone she thought she'd never see again. A long black car drove slowly down the street. Inside the car sat a man in an expensive suit. His name was Musa. He was one of the richest men in the whole country. He owned hotels and banks and many businesses. People knew his face from newspapers and television. Musa stared out the car window at the rainy streets. His driver, Tundai, sat in front, driving carefully through the water on the road. Musa felt empty inside. Even though he had so much money, he was thinking about his life and all the things that happened to him. Hey everyone, before we continue with this powerful story, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. New York, South Africa, Canada, Jamaica, anywhere in the world. We want to hear from you. Now, let's get back to the story. The car stopped at a red traffic light. Musa looked out the window again. That's when he saw her. The woman sitting on the ground with the children. His heart stopped beating for a moment. His hands started shaking. His mouth fell open. He leaned closer to the window to see better. No, it could not be. It was impossible. Musa rubbed his eyes and looked again. The woman's face, those eyes, that nose. Even with all the dirt and sadness on her face, he knew who she was. It was Hale Lima, his wife. Musa's mind went blank. His chest felt tight. He could not breathe properly. The woman he was looking at was his wife. The wife he married 7 years ago. The wife who disappeared from his life 3 years ago without saying goodbye. The wife he searched for everywhere but could not find. Tuni the driver noticed his boss acting strange. Tuni turned around and asked if everything was okay. Musa did not answer. His eyes stayed locked on Hale Lima and the children, the baby, the 2 kids holding cups. His brain tried to understand what he was seeing. His wife was pregnant and begging on the street with children. The light turned green. Cars behind them started honking their horns. Tundi began to drive forward. Musa suddenly shouted for him to stop. His voice was so loud it made Tundi jump. Musa told him to pull over right now. Tundi quickly steered the car to the side of the road. Musa threw open the car door before the car even stopped completely. He stumbled out into the rain. His expensive shoes splashed in the puddles. His suit got wet immediately. He did not care. He ran toward the corner where Hale Lima sat with the children. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum. People on the street stared at the rich man running in the rain. Some recognized him and pointed. Musa ignored everyone. He only saw Hale Lima. He ran faster. His legs felt weak. His whole body shook. When he got close, he stopped suddenly. He stood there in the rain, just staring. Hale Lima looked up. She saw the man standing in front of her. At first, she did not recognize him. Then her eyes went wide. Her face turned white. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. She knew that face. That was her husband, Musa, the man she ran away from 3 years ago. Musa's voice came out as a whisper. He said her name. Hale Lima, just her name, nothing else. His eyes filled with tears that mixed with the rain on his face. He looked at her dirty clothes, her thin body, her swollen belly, the children beside her. He felt like his heart was breaking into a million pieces. Hale Lima started crying. Tears ran down her face. She tried to stand up, but her legs were too weak. She fell back down. Little Zara and Galani moved closer to their mother. They looked scared. They did not know who this man was. The baby in Hale Lima's arm started crying louder. Musa dropped to his knees in the water right there on the street. He did not care that his expensive suit was getting ruined. He did not care that people were watching. He reached out his hand toward Hale Lima, but stopped. He was afraid to touch her, afraid she might disappear again like smoke. "Where have you been?" Musa's voice cracked when he spoke. His words came out broken and painful. "I searched everywhere for you. Every single day for 3 years, I looked for you. I hired people to find you. I checked every hospital and every shelter. Where did you go? Why did you leave me?" Hale Lima could not stop crying. She covered her face with her hands. Her whole body shook. The children looked at their mother and started crying too. They did not understand what was happening. Zara held on to Hale Lima's arm tight. Jelani stood up and tried to protect his mother by standing in front of her. Musa looked at the little boy. Jelani had Hale Lima's eyes and nose. He looked to be about 7 years old. Musa's brain worked fast doing the math. 7 years old. That meant Hale Lima was pregnant when she left him. She was carrying their baby when she disappeared. His son. This was his son, and he never knew. Then Musa looked at Zara. She looked about 5 years old. His heart broke even more. Another child. 2 children he never knew existed. 2 children who grew up without knowing their father. 2 children living on the streets begging for money. His children. His own flesh and blood living like this. And the baby. Musa stared at the tiny infant wrapped in the dirty cloth. How old was this baby? Whose baby was it? Questions exploded in his mind like fireworks. His wife was pregnant again with another baby. Where had she been all this time? What happened to her? Why was she living like this on the streets? But what Musa didn't know yet was that the truth behind her disappearance was far more dangerous than he could ever imagine. And the person responsible was closer than he thought. Musa reached out again. This time he touched Hale Lima's shoulder gently. She flinched like she was afraid. That small movement hurt him more than anything else. His own wife was scared of him. She pulled away from his touch. She gathered the children closer to her, like she was protecting them from danger. "Please," Musa's voice begged. "Please talk to me. Tell me what happened. Tell me why you left. Tell me why you are here like this. I am your husband. These are my children. Why are you begging on the street? Why did you not come home? Why, Hale Lima? Just tell me why." Hale Lima finally spoke. Her voice was so quiet. Musa could barely hear it over the rain. She said she had to leave. She had no choice. She could not stay with him anymore. It was too dangerous. Someone wanted to hurt her. Someone wanted to destroy their family. She had to protect their baby. So she ran away. Musa felt confused. What was she talking about? Who wanted to hurt her? Why would anyone want to destroy their family? He had money and power. He could protect her from anyone. Why would she run away instead of telling him? Nothing she said made any sense to him. He needed her to explain everything clearly. But before Hale Lima could say more, Tunny the driver came running up. He held a large umbrella. He put it over Musa to keep him dry. Tunde looked shocked when he saw Hale Lima. He recognized her too. She was Musa's wife who disappeared 3 years ago. Everyone in the house knew about her. Everyone wondered what happened to her. Tunde stared at the children. Then he looked at Hale Lima's pregnant belly. His face showed total surprise. He opened his mouth to say something, but Musa stopped him. Musa told Tunde to bring the car closer right now. They were taking Hale Lima and the children home immediately. No questions, no discussions. Just bring the car. Tunde ran back to get the car. Musa turned to Hale Lima again. He told her to come with him. She needed to come home where she belonged. The children needed proper shelter and food. She was pregnant and sick. She could not stay on the street anymore. Whatever happened in the past, they would fix it together. Hale Lima shook her head no. She said she could not go back. It was not safe. He did not understand. The person who wanted to hurt her was still out there. If she went back to his house, something terrible would happen. She had to stay hidden. She had to protect the children, even if it meant living on the streets. Musa felt frustrated. He raised his voice a little. How was living on the street protecting anyone? She was starving. The children were suffering. She was pregnant and sleeping in the rain. This was not protection. This was slow death. Whatever danger she was afraid of, he would handle it. He was rich and powerful. Nobody could hurt his family. The black car pulled up beside them. Tunde jumped out and opened the back door. Musa stood up. He picked up little Zara in his arms. She screamed and tried to get away. She kicked and hit him. She did not know this strange man. Jelani grabbed his mother and refused to let go. Hale Lima begged Musa to put Zara down. The child was terrified, but Musa would not listen. He carried Zara to the car and put her in the back seat. Then he came back for Galani. The boy fought hard. He punched and scratched, but Musa was much stronger. He picked up Jelani and carried him to the car, too. Finally, Musa came back for Hale Lima. She sat there crying and holding the baby. She was too weak to fight, too tired to run. Musa gently helped her stand up. She could barely walk. He wrapped his arm around her to support her weight. Slowly, they walked to the car together. Hale Lima kept crying the whole time. Musa helped Hale Lima into the back seat with the children. He sat beside her. Tony got in the driver's seat and started driving. Nobody spoke. The only sounds were the children crying and the rain hitting the car roof. Musa stared at his wife and children. His heart felt broken into pieces. Jelani and Zara held on to their mother tight. They looked at Musa with fear in their eyes. They did not trust him. To them, he was just a stranger who grabbed them and forced them into a car. Hale Lima whispered to them softly, trying to calm them down. She told them everything would be okay, but her voice shook when she said it. The car drove through the rich part of the city. Tall buildings and fancy shops lined the streets. After 30 minutes, they arrived at a huge mansion with tall gates. Guards opened the gates and the car drove through. The mansion looked like a palace. It had beautiful gardens and fountains and many windows. The car stopped in front of the main entrance. Servants came running out with umbrellas. They all stopped and stared when they saw Hale Lima. Some of them gasped, others whispered to each other. Everyone knew who she was. The missing wife had returned and she had children with her. Musa got out first. He helped Hale Lima out of the car. She looked at the massive house in front of her. She remembered this place. She used to live here. It felt like a lifetime ago. Now it felt strange and scary. Her legs shook as she walked. Musa kept his arm around her, helping her move forward. The children followed close behind, holding each other's hands. Their eyes were huge, looking at everything. They had never seen such a big house before. They had lived their whole lives in small rooms and on the streets. This place looked like something from a dream, but they were still scared and confused. Inside the house, more servants waited. Musa shouted orders to everyone. He told them to prepare rooms immediately. Get hot water for baths. Bring clean clothes. Call the doctor right now. Get food from the kitchen. Everyone needs to move fast. His voice was loud and commanding. People rushed in all directions to obey. An old woman came down the stairs. Her name was McCanuman. She was the head housekeeper who had worked for Musa's family for many years. When she saw Hale Lima, she stopped walking. Her hand went to her chest. Her eyes filled with tears. She rushed forward and grabbed Hale Lima in a tight hug. She said, "Thank God you are alive. We thought you were dead." Maka looked at the dirty children and the baby. She looked at Hale Lima's pregnant belly. Understanding came to her face. She did not ask questions. She just took charge immediately. She told the other servants to take the children upstairs to prepare baths and food. She would personally take care of Hale Lima. Everything would be fine now. But Hale Lima would not let the servants take her children away. She held on to them tight. She said the children stay with her. They do not go anywhere without her. Makina understood. She nodded and said, of course, the whole family would stay together. She led them all upstairs to a large bedroom with a bathroom attached. Servants brought buckets of warm water and clean towels. Maka helped Helma take off her dirty clothes. The children watched nervously. Maka gently washed the dirt and mud off Hale Lima's skin. The water in the tub turned brown. Hale Lima's body was covered in bruises and cuts. She was so thin her bones showed through her skin. McKenna cried quietly as she worked. After Hale Lima was clean and dressed in fresh clothes, it was the children's turn. Zara and Galani had never had a proper bath before. They did not know what to do. Maka showed them how to use soap and wash their hair. She was very gentle and kind. Slowly, the children started to relax a little bit. The warm water felt good on their skin. The baby was bathed, too. It was a little girl. She stopped crying once she was clean and warm. Maka wrapped her in a soft blanket. She asked Hale Lima what the baby's name was. Hale Lima said her name was Amani. She was only 3 months old. Maka smiled and said it was a beautiful name. After everyone was clean, servants brought food. There was rice and chicken and vegetables and fruit and bread, more food than the children had ever seen in their whole lives. Jelani and Zara stared at it with huge eyes. Then they started eating like they were starving, because they were starving. Hale Lima ate slowly. Her stomach was not used to good food anymore. Makina told her to eat just a little bit at a time, or she would get sick. Hale Lima nodded. She fed baby Imani while she ate. The children kept eating until their bellies were full. Then they fell asleep right there on the bed, still holding their plates. Musa stood in the doorway watching everything. He had not said a word since they entered the house. He just watched. His face showed so much pain. Watching his wife and children eat, like starving animals, broke something deep inside him. How had this happened? How had his family ended up living on the streets while he lived in luxury? The doctor arrived an hour later. He was a private doctor who worked only for rich families. His name was Dr. Baresa. He examined Hale Lima carefully. He checked her heartbeat and blood pressure. He looked at all her cuts and bruises. He examined her pregnant belly, listening to the baby's heartbeat. His face became more serious as he worked. Dr. Baresa told Musa they needed to talk privately. They went into another room and closed the door. The doctor said Hale Lima was severely malnourished. She was dangerously underweight for someone pregnant. The baby inside her might have problems because Hale Lima had not been eating properly. She also had infections from living in dirty conditions. She needed medicine and rest immediately. The doctor also said something else, something that made Musa feel sick to his stomach. Based on his examination, the baby Hale Lima was carrying now was about 6 months along. That meant she got pregnant 6 months ago. Musa and Hale Lima had not been together for 3 years, which meant someone else was the father of this baby. Musa felt like he had been punched in the chest. He sat down hard in a chair. His whole body went numb. The baby was not his. Hale Lima had been with another man, his wife, the woman he loved more than life itself. She had another man's baby growing inside her. This pain was worse than anything he had ever felt. Dr. Baresa also examined the children. Jelani and Zara were malnourished too, but they were basically healthy. Baby Imani was underweight, but otherwise okay. All of them needed better food and vitamins. They needed to gain weight, but they would recover with proper care. The doctor left medicine and instructions, then went home. Musa sat alone in his office. His head was in his hands. He tried to understand everything that happened today. A few hours ago, he was just driving through the city. Now, his missing wife was back with 2 children he never knew existed and pregnant with another man's baby. His whole world had turned upside down. Part of him wanted to throw Hale Lima out. How could she betray him like this? How could she be with another man? But another part of him still loved her desperately. He had searched for her for 3 years. He never gave up hope. And seeing her on the street like that, so broken and suffering, it tore his heart apart. And the children, Galani and Zara, were his blood, his son and daughter. They had grown up without a father because Hale Lima ran away. They lived on the streets begging because of her choices. But they were innocent. They did not ask for any of this. They deserved a good life. They deserved their father. Even if their mother had betrayed him. There was a soft knock on the office door. Makina came in. She told Musa that Hale Lima wanted to talk to him. She was asking for him. Maka's face was kind but serious. She said Hale Lima was very upset. She needed to explain things to him. He needed to listen to her story before judging. There was more happening than he understood. Musa stood up. His legs felt heavy like stone. He walked slowly to the bedroom where Hale Lima was staying. The children were all asleep on the big bed. Hale Lima sat in a chair by the window. She looked so small and fragile. When she saw Musa, fresh tears ran down her face. Musa stood near the door. He crossed his arms over his chest. His face was hard and cold. He told her to talk, to explain everything, to tell him why she destroyed their family. His voice sounded angry, but underneath the anger was deep hurt. He was a man whose heart was completely broken. Hale Lima took a deep breath. Her hands shook as she began to speak. She said she was sorry for everything. She never wanted to hurt him. She loved him more than anything in the world. But 3 years ago, something terrible happened. Something that forced her to run away. Something that made her choose between staying with him and protecting their unborn baby. She said it started when she found out she was pregnant with Galani. She was so happy. Musa was happy too. They were going to be parents. But then strange things started happening. Someone was following her. She would see the same car outside their house every day. When she went shopping, someone watched her. She felt eyes on her all the time. Then she started receiving threatening messages. Notes left on her car. Letters slipped under the door. The messages said terrible things. They said her baby would never be born. They said she would lose everything. They said Musa would suffer. The messages were not signed. She did not know who was sending them. Hale Lima said she told Musa about the messages. He said not to worry. He increased security at the house. He hired more guards. He told her she was safe. But the messages kept coming. They got worse, more specific, more threatening. Whoever was sending them knew details about her life. Private things. Things only someone close to the family would know. One night, Helma woke up and found someone standing in their bedroom. A dark figure watching her sleep. She screamed. The person ran away before anyone could catch them. Musa called the police, but they found nothing. No evidence, no fingerprints, nothing. The intruder had vanished like a ghost. After that, Hale Lima could not sleep. She was terrified all the time. Then came the worst day. Hale Lima was 7 months pregnant. She went to the hospital for a checkup. On the way home, her car was forced off the road by another car. The car hit hers from behind. She crashed into a wall. The airbags saved her life, but she was rushed to the hospital. The doctor said she almost lost the baby. A few more minutes and both she and Galani would have died. The police investigated. They said it was just an accident. The other driver claimed his brakes failed. But Hale Lima knew better. This was not an accident. Someone tried to kill her. Someone tried to kill her baby. And nobody was protecting her. Not the police, not the security guards. She felt completely alone and terrified. After that, Hale Lima became desperate. She knew she had to leave. If she stayed, her baby would die. Maybe she would die, too. Whoever was after her would not stop. They had already gotten past all the security. They got into the house. They forced her off the road. Next time, she might not survive. Her baby might not survive. So, one day when Musa was away on a business trip, Helma packed a small bag. She took only a little money, not enough that Musa would notice right away. She left in the middle of the night. She did not tell anyone where she was going. She could not risk anyone knowing because she believed the person trying to hurt her was someone close to the family. Hale Lima disappeared into the city. She stayed in cheap hotels using fake names. She dyed her hair. She wore different clothes. She became invisible. When her money ran out, she started staying in shelters. Then she gave birth to Galani in a public hospital. She had no money for a private room, no family with her. She was completely alone. After Jelani was born, life became even harder. She could not get a job because she had no papers. She was hiding her identity. She could not use her real name, or anyone would find her. She moved from place to place. Sometimes she stayed with kind people who helped her. Sometimes she slept on the streets. She did whatever she had to do to survive and keep Jelani safe. 2 years after Jelani was born, Hale Lima met a man named Udo. He was living on the streets, too. He had lost his job and his home. He was kind to her. He shared his food with her. He protected her and Galani. They became friends. Then slowly, they became more than friends. Helma was lonely and scared, and Udo made her feel safe. That was how Zara was born. But Udo had a drinking problem. He would disappear for days. Sometimes he would come back angry and violent. Hale Lima was scared of him. When Zara was 1 year old, Udo disappeared and never came back. Hale Lima never found out what happened to him. Maybe he died. Maybe he just left. She was alone again, with 2 children now. Then 6 months ago, something terrible happened. Hale Lima was sleeping in an abandoned building with her children. 3 men broke in during the night. They were drunk or on drugs. They attacked her. They hurt her very badly. Her children watched and cried, but they were too small to help. After the men left, Hale Lima lay there broken and bleeding. That was how she got pregnant with the baby inside her. Now, Musa listened to Hale Lima's story. Tears ran down his face. His hands were clenched into fists so tight his knuckles were white. He felt rage like fire burning through his whole body. Rage at the person who threatened her. Rage at the men who attacked her. Rage at himself for not protecting her, for not finding her, for letting her suffer like this. Hale Lima finished her story. She looked at Musa with empty eyes. She said she understood if he hated her. She understood if he wanted her to leave. She made so many mistakes. She should have trusted him more. Should have told him everything. But she was so scared. All she could think about was keeping Jelani safe, and then Zara and now Amani. Her children were everything to her. She said the baby inside her now was conceived in violence. Every time she felt it move, she remembered that terrible night. But it was still a baby, an innocent life. She could not hurt it. So she decided to keep it. Even though she had no money and no home. Even though carrying this baby made her life 10 times harder because she could not kill an innocent child, no matter how it was created. Musa could not speak. He walked to the window. His whole body shook. He wanted to break something. He wanted to scream. He wanted to find whoever threatened his wife and destroy them. He wanted to find the men who attacked her and make them suffer. But mostly, he wanted to go back in time and fix everything. Stop Hale Lima from leaving. Protect her better. Change the past. But he could not change the past. He could only deal with now. His wife was back, broken and traumatized, but alive. His 2 children were sleeping on the bed. Innocent kids who had suffered because of choices adults made. And another baby was coming. A baby created in violence, but still alive, still innocent, still deserving of care. Musa had to decide what to do now. He turned around to look at Hale Lima. He saw the woman he married 7 years ago. The woman he fell in love with. The woman who made him laugh and filled his days with joy. But he also saw a stranger. Someone who had lived a completely different life for 3 years. Someone who had experienced horrors he could only imagine. Someone who had another man's children. Could he forgive her? Could he accept these children as his own? Could he raise a baby that was not his blood? That was created from his wife being attacked. These were impossible questions. His heart and his mind were at war. His heart said he still loved her. His mind said she betrayed him by being with another man and having other children. Musa spoke quietly. He said he needed time to think. He would not throw her out. She and the children could stay in the house. They would have food and clothes and medical care. But he needed space. He needed to process everything. He could not make any promises right now about what would happen next. He just needed time. Helma nodded. She understood. She did not expect him to forgive her or accept her back. She was just grateful that her children would be safe and fed. That was all she cared about anymore. Her own feelings did not matter. She had given up on happiness for herself a long time ago. She only wanted her children to survive. Musa left the room. He went back to his office. He poured himself a drink. His hands shook so badly he spilled it. He sat down at his desk and put his head in his hands. Then he started to cry. Deep, painful sobs that came from the very bottom of his soul. He cried for everything that was lost, everything that was broken, everything that could never be fixed. The next morning, Musa had meetings at his office downtown. He left early before anyone woke up. He needed to work. He needed to focus on something normal, something that made sense. Business deals and contracts and money were simple, not like the mess his personal life had become. Work was his escape. At the mansion, Hale Lima woke up with the children. Maka brought breakfast to the room. Fresh fruit and eggs and bread and juice. The children ate happily. They were starting to understand that maybe they would get fed every day. Now, maybe they did not have to be hungry anymore. That realization made them smile for the first time. McKenna also brought new clothes for everyone. Simple but clean and good quality. She helped Hale Lima dress the children. Jelani got pants and a shirt. Zara got a pretty dress. Baby Amani got soft baby clothes. Hale Lima got a comfortable maternity dress. When they were all dressed, they looked like a normal family, not like people who lived on the streets. Mekna took the children to see the house. It was huge with so many rooms. There was a library full of books, a game room with toys, a big kitchen that smelled like fresh bread, gardens outside with flowers and trees. Jelani and Zara ran around exploring everything. They could not believe they were allowed to be here. It felt like magic. But Hale Lima could not relax. She kept looking at the doors and windows. She kept listening for strange sounds. The fear she had lived with for 3 years did not disappear just because she was in a big house now. She still felt like someone was watching. Someone was waiting. The danger was still out there. She could feel it. In the afternoon, Musa came home early. He looked tired. His eyes were red like he had not slept. He found Helma sitting in the garden watching Galani and Zara play. He sat down in a chair near her. They did not speak for a long time. They just watched the children together. Finally, Musa broke the silence. He said he had been thinking all night and all day. He had questions that Hale Lima needed to answer. Important questions. The first question was this. Who did she think was threatening her 3 years ago? Who had access to their house? Who knew private details about their life? Who would want to hurt her or their baby? She said she believed it was someone close to the family. But who? Hale Lima looked down at her hands. She said she did not know for certain, but she had suspicions. There were only a few people who had that kind of access, that kind of knowledge. One of those people was Musa's mother. His mother never liked Hale Lima. She thought Hale Lima was not good enough for her son. She wanted Musa to marry someone else, someone rich and educated. Musa felt his stomach drop. His mother. Could his own mother have done this? It seemed impossible, but Hale Lima kept talking. She said Musa's mother visited often before Hale Lima got pregnant. But after the pregnancy announcement, she stopped coming. She became cold and distant. She made comments about how Hale Lima trapped Musa by getting pregnant. How Hale Lima would ruin the family legacy. Then there was Musa's business partner, Obi. Obi was like a brother to Musa. They built their company together from nothing. But Obi wanted Musa to focus only on business. When Hale Lima got pregnant, Musa started talking about spending more time at home, about being a father, about slowing down. Obi was angry about this. He said Musa was being weak, letting a woman control him. And finally, there was Musa's secretary, a woman named Na. Neka had worked for Musa for many years. She was efficient and smart, but Hale Lima always felt like Na wanted more than just a professional relationship with Musa. Nika would touch his arm when she talked to him, would stay late at the office alone with him, would dress in ways that seemed inappropriate for work. When Hale Lima got pregnant, Nika's behavior changed. She became cold to Hale Lima, would not look at her, would schedule meetings during times Hale Lima had plans with Musa. It was like Na was jealous, like she felt Hale Lima had something that should belong to her. Hale Lima wondered if Na's jealousy could have turned into something dangerous. Musa listened to all of this. His face showed shock and confusion. These were people he trusted completely. His mother, his best friend, his secretary. Could one of them really have tried to hurt Hale Lima? It seemed crazy, but Hale Lima was right that they were the only ones with that kind of access, the only ones who knew so much about their private lives. Musa made a decision right then. He would investigate. He would find out the truth. He had resources and money and connections. He could hire private investigators. He could look into phone records and financial records. He could track down every threatening message Hale Lima received. He would find whoever did this, and they would pay for what they did to his family. But first, he had another question. He asked Hale Lima why she did not contact him after Udo left. She was alone with 2 children, starving, living on the streets. Why did she not reach out to him for help? Even if she was scared, she could have sent a message somehow. Could have let him know she was alive. Why did she stay away? Hale Lima started crying again. She said she wanted to contact him so many times. Every day she thought about it, but she was ashamed. She had another man's baby. Zara was not Musa's child. How could she come back with another man's child and ask for help? She thought Musa would hate her, would reject her, would throw her out. So she stayed away even though it meant suffering. Also, she was still scared. The threats stopped after she left. That made her think running away was the right choice. If she came back, maybe the threats would start again. Maybe whoever wanted to hurt her before would finish the job this time. And now she had 2 children to protect instead of 1. She could not risk their lives, even if it meant living in poverty. Musa felt anger and sadness mixed together. He understood her fear, but he was also frustrated. If she had just trusted him more, if she had just told him everything instead of running, they could have figured it out together. But she chose to face everything alone. And because of that choice, years were wasted. Their family was broken. And now everything was so complicated, it might never be fixed. The next few weeks were strange for everyone in the house. Helma and the children stayed in their room most of the time. The children started to relax more. They learned they would get food every day. They learned nobody would hurt them. They started to smile and play like normal kids. But Hale Lima could not relax. She was always watching, always worried. Musa hired the best private investigators in the country. He gave them all the information Hale Lima could remember. Dates of the threatening messages, details about her car accident, names of everyone who had access to their house. The investigators went to work immediately. They interviewed people. They checked old security footage. They looked through records and phone logs. Meanwhile, Musa started watching the 3 people Hale Lima suspected. His mother, his business partner, Obi, his secretary, Na. He looked for any signs of guilt, any strange behavior, anything that might prove they were involved, but everyone acted normal. His mother called and asked how he was doing. Obi talked about business deals. Naked did her job efficiently as always. Nobody seemed guilty. One investigator found something interesting. The car that forced Helma off the road 3 years ago was registered to a rental company. The person who entered it used a fake ID, but the rental company kept copies of security footage. The investigator found the footage from 3 years ago. It showed a woman renting the car, a woman wearing sunglasses and a hat to hide her face, but the investigator enhanced the image. The woman had a distinctive scar on her left hand, a small crescent moon-shaped scar. Musa looked at the photo. His blood went cold. He knew that scar. He had seen it 1,000 times. It was on his secretary, Nika's left hand. She got it in a kitchen accident when she was young. She told him the story once. There was no mistaking it. Nika was the person who rented the car that tried to kill Hale Lima and Galani. Nika tried to murder his wife. Musa felt sick. Nika had worked for him for 8 years. He trusted her with everything. His schedule, his passwords, his private information. She had access to his house. She knew where Hale Lima went and when. She could easily have sent the threatening messages. Could have hired someone to break into the bedroom. Could have arranged everything. And he never suspected her. Not once. The investigator kept digging. He found out that Nika made several large cash withdrawals around the time of the threatening messages. Withdrawals that did not match her normal spending patterns. Like she was paying someone for something. Maybe paying someone to follow Hale Lima, to scare her, to break into the house. The evidence was building, but Musa needed to be sure. He needed Nika to confess. So he set a trap. He told Nika that Hale Lima had returned, that she was staying at his house with children. He watched Neka's reaction carefully. For just a second, her face showed shock and anger. Then, she covered it with a fake smile. She said, "How wonderful." She was so happy for him. But her eyes told a different story. That night, Nika came to the mansion. She said she wanted to welcome Hale Lima home, bring her a gift. But Musa had security cameras set up everywhere now. Cameras that Nika did not know about. He wanted to see what she would do. He told her Hale Lima was resting upstairs. Nika could go up and say hello. He would wait in his office. Nika went upstairs. The cameras followed her. She walked down the hall toward the bedroom where Hale Lima stayed, but instead of knocking on the door, she stopped. She looked around to make sure nobody was watching. Then she pulled something from her purse. A syringe. A syringe filled with clear liquid. The cameras caught everything. NEA quietly opened the bedroom door. Inside, Hale Lima was sleeping on the bed. The children were playing in another room with Maka. Nika walked slowly toward the bed. Her face showed pure hatred. She raised the syringe. She was going to inject Hale Lima with whatever poison was in that needle. She was going to finish what she started 3 years ago. But before she could do it, Musa burst into the room. He had been watching on the cameras from his office. He ran upstairs the moment he saw the syringe. He grabbed Na's arm and twisted it hard. She screamed and dropped the syringe. It fell on the floor. Hale Lima woke up confused and scared. She saw Naked and started screaming too. Security guards rushed in. They grabbed Nika and held her. She fought like a wild animal. She screamed that Hale Lima deserved to die. That Hale Lima ruined everything. That Musa belonged to her, not to some worthless woman who trapped him with a baby. Her mask was completely gone now. All the hatred and jealousy poured out of her mouth like poison. Musa called the police. While they waited, he made Nika talk. He needed to know everything. Why did she do this? What did she hope to gain? Nika laughed a bitter laugh. She said she loved Musa for years. She worked beside him, helped him build his empire. She thought eventually he would see her, would realize she was the right woman for him. But then he married Hale Lima. Nika said she tried to accept it at first, tried to just be professional, but then Hale Lima got pregnant and Musa changed. He became softer, started talking about family instead of business, started leaving work early to be with his wife. Nika felt like she was losing him, losing the future she imagined for herself. So, she decided to remove the problem, remove Hale Lima and the baby. She hired people to follow Hale Lima, to send threatening messages to break into the house and scare her. She wanted Hale Lima to lose the baby from stress. When that did not work, she decided to take more direct action. She rented the car herself and forced Hale Lima off the road. She thought the crash would kill both Hale Lima and the baby, but they survived. Hale Lima ran away instead. After Hale Lima disappeared, Nika thought she won. She thought she could finally have Musa. She stayed close to him, comforted him while he grieved. She thought eventually he would turn to her, but he never did. He stayed faithful to his missing wife, still loved her, still searched for her. That made Nneka even more angry, even more crazy with jealousy. When she heard Hale Lima was back, she knew she had to act fast. If Hale Lima told Musa what happened, everything would come out. So, she decided to kill Hale Lima once and for all. She brought the syringe with poison. She would make it look like Hale Lima died from complications of her pregnancy. Nobody would suspect murder, but Musa caught her before she could do it. The police arrived and arrested Nneka. They took the syringe as evidence. They took statements from everyone. Nneka was charged with attempted murder, multiple counts. The evidence against her was overwhelming. The rental car records, the financial records, the security footage from tonight. She would go to prison for a very long time. Her life was over. After the police left, Musa went to find Hale Lima. She was in the bedroom holding all 3 children. She was shaking and crying. Musa sat down beside her. He pulled her into his arms. He held her tight. He said he was so sorry. Sorry he did not protect her before. Sorry he did not believe how serious the danger was. Sorry she had to run away and suffer for 3 years because of his failure. Hale Lima cried into his chest. She said it was not his fault. He could not have known. Nobody could have known that Na was so dangerous, so sick with jealousy. But at least now they knew the truth. The person who wanted to hurt her was caught. The danger was over. For the first time in 3 years, Hale Lima felt like she could breathe, like maybe she could finally be safe. But there was still so much broken between them. So much distance. So much pain. Musa looked at the children, at Galani, who was his blood, at Zara, who was not, at baby Amani, who was not, at Hale Lima's pregnant belly carrying another baby who was not his. His heart was torn in pieces. He did not know how to fix any of this. He did not know if it even could be fixed. Days passed, then weeks. The story of Na's arrest was all over the news. Everyone in the city talked about it. The crazy secretary who tried to kill her boss's wife. People gossiped and speculated. Some blamed Nneka. Some blamed Hale Lima for being too pretty. Some blamed Musa for not seeing what was happening. Everyone had an opinion. But inside the mansion, the family tried to heal. Musa spent more time at home. He worked from his office in the house instead of going downtown. He wanted to be there to make sure Hale Lima and the children were safe, to get to know his son Galani, to try to understand what happened to his family. But it was hard. Every time he looked at Zara, he saw Udo, a man he never met, a man who was with his wife. Jelani slowly started to warm up to Musa. The boy was smart and curious. He asked Musa questions about everything, about business, about the cars in the garage, about how much money they had. Musa answered patiently. He taught Jelani things, showed him how to read financial reports, took him to visit his office buildings. Jelani soaked up everything like a sponge. He was definitely Musa's son. He had the same sharp mind for business. But Zara was different. She was shy and quiet. She stayed close to Hale Lima always. She would not talk to Musa, would not even look at him. When he tried to play with her, she ran away. She only felt safe with her mother. Musa tried not to let it hurt him, but it did hurt. This little girl was not his blood, but she was his wife's daughter. If he wanted Hale Lima back, he had to accept Zara, too. But accepting was hard. Baby Amani was easy to love. She was so tiny and helpless. She smiled at everyone. She did not know about complicated adult problems. She just needed to be fed and held and kept warm. Musa found himself holding her sometimes, rocking her when she cried, feeding her bottles. She was innocent, not responsible for how she came into the world, just a baby who needed love. And the baby that was coming. That was the hardest thing for Musa to think about. In 3 months, Hale Lima would give birth to a baby conceived when she was attacked. Every time Musa looked at Hale Lima's belly, he felt angry. Not at her, not at the baby, but at the men who hurt her, at the universe for being so cruel, at himself for not protecting her. The anger ate at him like acid. One night, Musa could not sleep. He went to the bedroom where Hale Lima stayed. She was awake, too, sitting by the window. The moonlight made her face look pale and sad. Musa sat down near her. He asked if she was okay. She said she was fine, but they both knew it was a lie. Neither of them was fine. They were both broken in different ways. Musa said they needed to talk about the future, about what happens next. Did Hale Lima want to stay here? Did she want to try to fix their marriage? Or did she want to leave and start a new life somewhere else? He would give her money and support. Either way, he would make sure she and the children were taken care of. But he needed to know what she wanted, what she hoped for. Hale Lima was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke softly. She said she did not know what she wanted anymore. 3 years ago, she wanted to be Musa's wife, wanted to raise their children together, wanted a normal, happy family. But that dream was dead now. Too much had happened. Too many mistakes were made. She did not know if that dream could ever come back to life. She said she understood if Musa could not forgive her, could not accept the children who were not his. She did terrible things. She was with another man. She had another man's baby. Most men would never forgive that, never accept it. She would not blame Musa if he wanted to divorce her. If he wanted her to leave, she would understand. She would take her children and go. But where would she go? She had no money of her own, no job, no family who could help. She would end up on the streets again with 3 children now, soon to be 4. How would she survive? How would she feed them? The thought terrified her. But she could not stay here if Musa did not want her. She could not force him to accept a family that was not really his. That would not be fair to anyone. Musa listened to her words. His heart felt heavy like stone. Part of him wanted to tell her to leave, to take her children and go, to let him start over and forget this pain. But another part of him could not imagine life without her. Even after everything, even with all the betrayal and hurt, he still loved her. That love was like a curse he could not break. He thought about Galani, his son, a boy who was smart and strong, a boy who deserved to know his father, to grow up with opportunities and education, to have a good life. If Hale Lima left, she would take Galani with her. Musa would lose his son. That thought was unbearable. He could not let Galani go back to the streets, could not let his own blood suffer. And even Zara, even though she was not his, she was just a little girl, an innocent child who did not choose her parents or her circumstances. She deserved a chance at a good life, too. And baby Imani, and the baby coming, all innocent, all helpless, all deserving of care and safety. How could he throw them out? How could he let them suffer when he had so much? Musa made his decision. He told Hale Lima she could stay. She and all the children. They would live here in this house. The children would go to good schools, would have food and clothes and everything they needed. He would be a father to all of them, even the ones who were not his blood, because they were Hale Lima's children. And he loved Hale Lima. Even if their marriage was broken, he could not abandon her. But he told her honestly that he did not know if he could be a husband to her again. Not in the romantic sense, not like before. The trust was broken. The love was damaged. Maybe someday it could heal, but maybe not. For now, they would live as separate people under the same roof, co-parenting the children, being civil to each other, but not truly together, not like a real married couple. Helma nodded. Tears ran down her face. She said, "Thank you. Thank you for not throwing them out. Thank you for giving the children a chance." She did not expect him to love her again, did not expect him to forgive her. She just wanted her children to be safe. That was all that mattered to her. Now her own happiness did not matter anymore. Only the children. 2 months passed. Life settled into a new routine. The children thrived. Jelani started attending a private school. He loved learning. He made friends. He started to look and act like a normal happy kid instead of a street child. Zara started school too. She was still shy but slowly came out of her shell. She started to smile more, started to play with toys, started to trust that this new life was real. Baby Imani grew bigger and stronger. She started crawling around the house. She laughed and babbled. She was a happy baby now that she was fed and clean and safe. Maka loved taking care of her. The old woman had never had children of her own. Caring for these kids brought her joy. She sang to them and told them stories. She became like a grandmother to them. Hale Lima's pregnancy progressed. Her belly grew larger. Dr. Baresa checked on her regularly. He said the baby was healthy despite everything. It would be born soon. Hale Lima felt afraid every time she thought about the birth. This baby was a reminder of the worst night of her life. But it was also a life, an innocent life. She tried to prepare herself to love it, but she did not know if she could. Musa kept his distance from Hale Lima. They talked about the children, about schedules and doctor appointments and school events. But they did not talk about feelings, did not touch, did not share meals together. They were like strangers living in the same house, business partners raising children together, nothing more. The love that once burned between them was now just cold ashes. But sometimes Musa would watch Hale Lima when she did not know. He would see her playing with the children, see her laughing at something Galani said, see her braiding Zara's hair, see her singing to Amani, and his heart would ache. This was the woman he married, the woman he loved. But she felt so far away now, like someone he used to know in another life, someone he could never reach again. Then one night, everything changed again. Hale Lima woke up with terrible pain. She cried out. Makina heard her and came running. She saw Hale Lima curled up on the bed, holding her stomach. Her water had broken. The baby was coming. It was too early. She was only 8 months along. But the baby did not care. It was ready to be born. Makina shouted for help. Servants came running. Someone called Dr. Baresa. Someone else called for the car to take Hale Lima to the hospital. Musa came running in his pajamas. He saw Helma in pain and his heart stopped. She looked so scared, so small. He felt an overwhelming need to protect her, to help her. Without thinking, he took her hand. He told her it would be okay. He was here. She was not alone. They got Hale Lima to the car. Musa climbed in beside her, still holding her hand. Tunda drove as fast as he could through the dark streets. Hale Lima squeezed Musa's hand so hard it hurt. She was breathing fast, crying, saying she was scared. Scared of the baby, scared of the pain, scared of everything. Musa held her hand and told her to breathe. Just breathe. Focus on his voice. She was strong. She could do this. They reached the hospital. Nurses rushed Hale Lima into the delivery room. Musa started to let go of her hand, but she would not release him. She begged him to stay. Please do not leave me alone. I cannot do this alone. Her eyes were wild with fear. Musa looked at the nurses. They said he could come in if she wanted, so he followed her into the delivery room, still holding her hand. The delivery was fast and difficult. Hale Lima screamed in pain. She squeezed Musa's hand so hard he thought his bones would break. But he did not let go. He stayed beside her the whole time, talking to her, encouraging her, wiping sweat from her face, being the support she needed. For those hours, nothing else mattered. Not the past, not the pain, just helping her through this moment. Finally, the baby was born, a little boy. He came out crying loudly. The nurses cleaned him and wrapped him in a blanket. They brought him to Hale Lima. She looked down at the baby. Her face showed so many emotions: fear, sadness, confusion. This baby was created from violence, from the worst moment of her life. How could she love something that came from such darkness? But then the baby opened his eyes. He looked up at Hale Lima, and something shifted inside her. This was not a monster. This was not evil. This was just a baby. A tiny, helpless human who did not choose how he came into the world. He was innocent, completely innocent. And he needed her love, needed her care. In that moment, Hale Lima felt her heart break open. She started to cry. But this time, they were different tears. Tears of love. Musa watched all of this. He saw the baby, saw Hale Lima holding him, saw the love dawning on her face. And something broke inside him too. This baby, this innocent child, born from terrible circumstances, but still just a baby, still deserving of love, still needing protection. Musa felt tears on his own face. He did not know why he was crying, but he could not stop. Hale Lima looked up at Musa. Their eyes met. For the first time in months, they really saw each other, really connected. All the walls they built between them crumbled in that moment. All the hurt and anger and distance faded. They were just two people who had been through hell together. Two people who survived, two people who still had each other despite everything. Hale Lima whispered to Musa. She asked if he wanted to hold the baby. Musa hesitated. This was not his child, not his blood. A baby conceived when another man he hurt his wife. Every logical reason told him to say no. But his heart said something different. So he reached out. He took the baby in his arms. The infant was so small, so fragile, so completely dependent on the adults around him. The baby looked up at Musa with dark eyes. He made a small sound, not crying, just a tiny noise. And in that moment, Musa felt something he did not expect. Love, not the same as he felt for Galani, but love nonetheless. Love for this innocent life. This child who needed a father. This baby who did nothing wrong. Musa started crying harder. He held the baby close to his chest, and he made a decision right there. He told Hale Lima that they would raise this baby together. All of them, all the children, they would be a family, a strange, broken family that did not look like other families, but a family nonetheless. Because these children needed parents, and he and Hale Lima needed each other. Even if their love was damaged, even if trust was broken, they still needed each other. Hale Lima cried and nodded. She said she wanted that, too. Wanted to try again. Wanted to rebuild what was lost. She knew it would be hard, knew there was so much damage to repair. But maybe they could do it. Maybe love could survive even the worst circumstances. Maybe broken things could be put back together. Maybe there was hope. After all, the baby was named Tao. It meant lion. Helma chose the name because this baby survived against all odds. Was born from darkness, but was still strong, still fighting, still alive. Tao was a fighter just like his mother, just like his whole family. They were all survivors, all fighters, all refusing to give up even when life tried to destroy them. They stayed in the hospital for 3 days. Then they went home. McKenna had prepared everything. The house was full of flowers. The children had made welcome home signs. Jelani and Zara were excited to meet their new baby brother. They did not understand the complicated story of how he came to be. They just knew they had another sibling, another person to love. In the weeks that followed, something beautiful started to happen. The family began to heal slowly, painfully, but surely. Musa spent more time with all the children. He read stories to Zara until she finally started to trust him. He played games with Galani. He held Amani and made her laugh. And he rocked baby Tao to sleep at night singing soft songs. Hale Lima and Musa started talking again, really talking about their feelings, about the past, about the pain they both carried. They went to counseling together. A therapist helped them work through the trauma, helped them understand each other, helped them start to forgive. It was not easy. There were many hard conversations, many tears, many moments of anger, but slowly they found their way back to each other. 6 months after Tao was born, Musa asked Hale Lima if she would renew their marriage vows. He said he wanted to start over, to commit to her again. Not because of obligation, not because of the children, but because he chose her. He chose to love her despite everything. He chose to rebuild their marriage. He chose their family. Hale Lima said yes. They had a small private ceremony in the garden of their home. Just family and a few close friends. McKenna cried happy tears the whole time. The children wore nice clothes and threw flower petals. Musa and Hale Lima stood facing each other, holding hands. They promised to love each other, to support each other, to never give up on each other no matter what life threw at them. It was not a perfect ending. There were still hard days. Days when Musa struggled with insecurity. Days when Hale Lima was triggered by memories of the past. Days when the children acted out because of their early trauma. But they faced those days together. They learned to communicate, to forgive, to choose love over anger, to choose hope over despair. Jelani grew up to be a brilliant young man. He went to university and studied business like his father. He eventually took over one of Musa's companies and ran it successfully. Zara became an artist. She painted beautiful pictures that showed both darkness and light. Her art helped others who had experienced trauma. Amani became a teacher working with underprivileged children, and Tao became a lawyer fighting for justice for victims of violence. All the children knew their full story. Musa and Hale Lima did not hide the truth from them. They explained everything in age-appropriate ways as the kids grew up. They taught the children that family is not just about blood. Family is about love and commitment and choice. Family is about showing up for each other even when things are hard. Family is about forgiveness and second chances. Neka spent 15 years in prison for attempted murder. She got out eventually. She was a different person then, broken by guilt and consequences. She sent a letter to Hale Lima apologizing. She said she was sick back then, consumed by jealousy and obsession. She took responsibility for the pain she caused. She asked for forgiveness, not expecting to receive it, just needing to say the words. Hale Lima thought about the letter for a long time. Then she wrote back. She said she forgave Na not because what Na did was okay, but because holding on to hatred was like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness was for Hale Lima's own peace, her own healing. She wished Neko well and hoped she found her own path to redemption. As for Musa and Hale Lima, they stayed together for the rest of their lives. Their love was not the fairy tale kind. It was the real kind. The kind that survives storms and comes out stronger. The kind that chooses commitment over convenience. The kind that forgives 70 times 7. The kind that says, I will love you even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard. Years later, when Musa was an old man, someone asked him about his life. They asked if he had any regrets, if he wished things had been different, if he wished he had married someone else, someone without all the complicated history and pain. Musa smiled and said no. He would not change anything because the hard things made him who he was. The pain taught him how to truly love. The brokenness showed him what really mattered. He said finding Hale Lima begging on the street that rainy day was the most important moment of his life. It broke him completely, shattered every illusion he had about life and love and family. But from those broken pieces, something new was built, something stronger, something real. He was grateful for every moment, even the painful ones, because they all led him to the life he was meant to live. The story of Musa and Hale Lima spread through their community. People talked about the billionaire who found his wife begging and took her back despite everything. Some people thought he was a fool. Some thought he was a saint. But most people were just moved by the power of love and forgiveness. The story reminded people that second chances are possible, that broken things can be mended, that love can survive even the darkest circumstances. And so the family lived on, not perfectly, but together, supporting each other through good times and bad, celebrating victories and mourning losses, growing and changing and learning, being human, being real, being a family in the truest sense of the word. Not because everything was easy, but because they chose each other every single day. And that choice made all the difference. This story teaches us many important things. It teaches us that love is not just a feeling. It is a choice, a commitment, a daily decision to keep showing up even when things are difficult. It teaches us that family is not just about blood. It is about who is there for you when life gets hard, who holds your hand through the storms, who forgives your mistakes and helps you become better. It teaches us that everyone has a story. That woman begging on the street is someone's daughter, someone's wife, someone's mother. She has dreams and fears and a history we know nothing about. Before we judge, we should remember that we do not know what brought someone to that moment. We do not know what battles they are fighting. Kindness and compassion should always be our first response. It teaches us about forgiveness. Real forgiveness is hard. It does not mean forgetting. It does not mean what happened was okay, but it means choosing not to let bitterness destroy you. Choosing to release the anger so you can heal. Choosing to move forward instead of staying stuck in the past. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself as much as the other person. It teaches us that children are always innocent. No matter how they were conceived, no matter what their parents did or did not do, children deserve love and protection and opportunities. They deserve to be safe and fed and educated. Society has a responsibility to care for all children, not just the ones born in perfect circumstances, but all children because they are our future. It teaches us about the power of second chances. People make mistakes, sometimes terrible mistakes, but that does not mean they are beyond redemption. Hale Lima made mistakes by running away and not communicating, but she did it out of fear and desperation. Musa made mistakes by not paying closer attention to the threats against his wife, but he did not do it maliciously. Both of them deserved a chance to make things right, to learn and grow and do better. Thank you so much for watching this story on Storysphere. We hope it touched your heart and made you think about love, family, and forgiveness in a new way. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our stories. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and most importantly, share it with your friends and family so more people can hear this powerful message. Also, drop a comment below and let us know where you are watching from. Are you in New York, South Africa, Canada, Jamaica, London, Nigeria, Kenya, or somewhere else in the world? We love hearing from our viewers all around the globe. Your comments and support mean everything to us. Until next time, remember that love and forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds. God bless you all. This is Storysphere.